Every year between April and June, most people in Spain have to go through a tedious process that it's reporting their earnings to the annual tax authorities for the annual income tax. This tax season is approaching and there is something that you will want to pay attention no matter what is your situation. How does it actually work? Do you really have to file this annual tax return in Spain? How can you save money while doing it? In this video, we will be covering absolutely everything that you need to know how to successfully file your income tax return. What's exactly the income tax return? Is a report that you submit in the Spanish tax authorities, what we call here Hacienda, where you declare how much you have earned through the year. It's important to note here through the fiscal year. And it's consequently how much tax you need to pay through those earnings that you have been earning through the whole year. If you have overpaid, then the tax agency will be able to refund the excess that you have been paying previously. But if that's underpaid in the other side, then you will have to settle the difference that it's in some cases making an additional payment that you will have to make in this annual tax return. The first and most important thing is who needs to file the tax return, because keep in mind, not everybody is required to file this annual tax return in Spain. You must file the tax return if you meet any of these conditions. If you have earned more than 22,000 years from a single employee, or if you have had multiple employers and your secondary earnings exceed 1,500 per year, and in this case, if the income threshold drops to 15,000 euros a year. And also, if you're self-employed, there are no exceptions because you will be having to be filing this tax declaration. And keep in mind, if you also have a rental income, like investments income or cryptocurrency or any kind of earnings like that, you will also be forced to be submitting this tax declaration. If you are unsure whether you have to need to file this tax declaration, you can check on the Hacienda, the tax agency website, or you can consult to any tax advisor. In our help, we have a lot of experts that we can help you and we can let you know if you actually have to submit it or not. But the most important, if you are required to file, make sure you do it as soon as possible, as failing into doing that can lead into significant penalties and you'll have like a penalty fee in case you don't submit it in time. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to your YouTube channel so you don't miss anything and you are always up to date to any news and everything that we can keep posting. We post weekly videos with all the information that you might need as a foreigner in Spain. Also, if you're finding this video helpful, give it a like. And let's continue. When and how you file your tax return. The dates vary slightly depending the year, but in general, it's a tax that has to be submitted between April to June. But especially the filing window opens on April 2nd and closes June the 30th. This is the final deadline, and then our advice from our perspective, it's file it as soon as possible on April to avoid last-minute delays or any kind of penalties. The best way to file early so you can ask for your money back. And if you owe taxes, you can defer or split the payment to make sure it's more manageable in your case. How can you file this tax return? You have three options, and the most common ones are, for example, the first one, online. You can do it through the Spanish tax agency website. The second one, it's in person by making an appointment to the tax agency, and here it's called Hacienda. And then the third one, and what we will probably advise the most, is to go through a tax advisor who can handle your taxes. If it's your first time filing or you are unsure on which deductions you can apply in your case, don't risk or make any mistakes because we can help you with all that. What do you need to do in order to file this tax return? Before we start, you need to make sure that you have your draft return, which you can download on the tax agency in the official website in Spain. And then you also will need your tax data, which is also available online. You might maybe need like this digital certificate in order to apply on all that. And keep in mind your NIF and NIE and also your reference number to access all your records. Information on also application to all kind of deductions, and that's very detailed on the person itself because it will change depending on the person. In case you have payments, mortgage, interest, you have made any kind of charity donations, then we can have a look on your special case and know which kind of deductions it can be applied. In case that you are self-employed, working here as an autonomo in Spain, things get a little bit more complicated as you will need to report all your income, expenses, invoices for the whole year. How do you pay less on your tax return? That's pretty much what we all want to do, right? Pay the least. So now let's talk about the interesting part. How can you pay less? Because yes, we can go through many deductions that can lower your tax burden. Benefit from that. Some of the most common deductions include deductions for the rent or mortgage payments if you meet some several requirements. Also, there are contributions to pension plans which reduce your taxable income. Also, there are other deductions in case you have donated to any kind of charities or non-governmental organizations. Also, keep in mind, work-related expenses in some cases are also a way to have deductions. So we can have a special look in your case and know exactly what kind of deductions we can apply. However, the tax deductions vary depending on the region. So be sure which region, that in here we call Comunidad Autónoma. So depending on which region, we will have a special kind of deductions. Also keep in mind, filing your tax return doesn't have to be a headache, and it's not something you should leave until the last minute either way, because the best thing you can do is schedule a consultation with our tax team, and we can guide you through this process and help get it done properly and without any further delay. You can send us an email at info@balcellsgroup.com, and you can get it started today and start prepping before April already. So of course, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any update, and see you soon in the next video.